Joker, Hitler, Burglar, Spy, the 4 stages of Trump. Donald Trump is the most divisive American political figure of my lifetime. Even Ronald Reagan wasn't treated like this. Back then, the real powers in the U.S. used their full control over the media narrative to keep Reagan on a very short leash. Now, Reagan, like Trump, was a master of media. They are both what Scott Adams calls master persuaders. Their power to communicate transcends words. It breaks through control systems. They are divisive precisely because they can't be controlled. The so-called resistance can't see the man, only his words, because his words create negative feelings, and they believe their feelings are your responsibility. And this is why Whoopi Goldberg said she can't figure out how to fix this just before screaming at Jeanine Pirro on live television. Whoopi doesn't accept that her feelings are her responsibility and that they have consequences. The problem isn't her, it's always those deplorables and alt-right Nazis who duped good people into voting for an evil man. She has to accept that Trump is a sleeper agent straight out of some John le Carre spy novel, or otherwise admit she's wrong. She has to believe that the deep state isn't real. How did otherwise rational people fall for such a patent lie? Let's go through the 4 stages of Trump to find out. Stage 1. Joker. When Donald Trump entered the GOP circus ring, everyone snickered. When Ann Coulter told Bill Maher's audience he would win, they laughed out loud. To them, Trump was a joke. This was the start of New America. Their values had won. Smug liberalism would triumph completely with Hillary Clinton's coronation as the first woman president. And Trump was like a stink bomb exploding in their yurt while they chanted about the legacy of Obama. The seeds of Trump's illegitimacy were sown then in July 2015, and every official opinion maker misread the country. They thought Ron Paul's populist rebellion of 2012 was over. They were wrong. Stage 2. Hitler. As Trump knocked off GOP sacrificial offerings to Hillary, things turned serious. Trump's bluntness on immigration and border security became the true third rail of American politics. The acme of toxic masculinity to them, Trump would never be president, not in 2016. They invoked the specter of Roe v. Wade to frighten women into insanity. Social media algorithms multiplied the mania, and invoking Hitler is always the endgame of this phase of the psyop. It happened to Saddam Hussein, Milosevic, Gaddafi, Putin, and now Trump. How could these people vote for a man who was literally Hitler? The joke was that's how much we hated their new America, because we were willing to vote for Donald frickin' Trump. And then they stopped laughing. Stage 3. Burglar. That disbelief turned to denial, and they screamed, Trump's dirty. That means they'll bring him to heel. He's a bore. That means look at that hair. He's backed by Nazis. That means invoke Putin to create an other to hate. They scream, we're the good guys, while they cosplay a vagina and normalize pedophilia. She couldn't possibly have lost. Translation, he's Putin's puppet. What's wrong with America? Translation, now it's war. We rejected Hillary's obvious evil for Trump's potential evil. As my wife put it, I've waited 25 years to vote against that bitch. They willingly convinced themselves that Trump was an evil Nazi, a puppet of Vladimir Putin for daring to say we should get along with Russia. To do otherwise, despite mounting evidence of a frame-up to steal the presidency back from him, would mean examining themselves. Self-examination doesn't happen inside the cult. When your only God is power, all theft is justifiable. Stage 4. Spy. And that's why it's so easy now, post the Helsinki summit, for the deep state to openly declare war on the president, branding him a traitor. They have a large swath of Americans convinced Trump is a traitor. It's leading directly to civil war. And it's a shame. Those convinced of Trump's guilt have the same concerns over abuse of power and the rise of what Sam Francis calls a narco-tyranny that we do, which is unlimited power for me, the government, but not for thee, the people. And for all of his faults, Donald Trump threatens that arrangement. The left's is now the CIA's literal brown shirts. They have become all that they say they hate, and they always do. Trump has destroyed the media. Social media companies, revealed as an Orwellian panopticon, have destroyed their credibility through blatant censorship. The Democrats are an open insurrection against the sitting president. The GOP leadership have been exposed as their rearguard. Containment has been breached. Trump is leading a center-right, more libertarian movement towards the America we hold in our heads and our hearts, but not the one we live in. And that's his biggest crime. But we have entered an age that is dangerous in the life cycle of any society. Titanic shifts in geopolitics will reverberate around the world and across your investment portfolio, and we're seeing the beginnings of that now. The Chinese yuan is under intense pressure. The Bank of Japan announced unlimited QE, but no buyers showed up for the bonds. Emerging markets are teetering as the flow of dollars dries up thanks to the Fed's tightening. Europe is a political basket case with the EU fracturing over immigration. Russia is openly defying the U.S. on sanctions and leading the world away from the dollar. And cryptocurrencies are building a foundation of a new monetary system which takes power back from the banking cartel. And all the U.S.'s political establishment can do is hurl epithets at Trump while clinging to a world order that is well past its use-by date.